I think social media has done RV life a huge disservice. Because if you watch enough videos, you start to believe that everybody's sitting outside at campfires, roasting marshmallows, singing, and playing the guitar. Not reality. And you also think that they're always watching the sunset or living some permanent, stress free vacation. Again, not reality. I love RV life, I really do, but some days this life will test your patience like it'll get on every small nerve and test you. And honestly, I think we need to talk more about the side of this that nobody shows. The cramped spaces, the storage issues, the lack of countertop space, the fact that you're always on top of each other. When we first started living in this RV, I had ideas in my head about how simple this life would be. A lot of misconceptions. I thought it was going to be less stuff, less stress, less cleaning, more sunsets, more freedom, more peace. And in some ways, that's true. There is a little bit more freedom and sometimes more peace than regular, because it's living in this campground that I live in is really, it slows you down a lot. There's drama, of course, but it keeps you from always rushing. But also, what else I've learned and what I've come to realize is that living in a tiny space makes things that are this big become this big quickly. Like every little inconvenience becomes a really big inconvenience suddenly. You can't just walk away from the mess. You can't just shut the door and ignore the problem, because it's still there and you can still see it. And you know it's there because there's no separation. Like I can shut my bedroom door, but yeah, it's not, I still know it's a mess. And if something breaks, unless you got the money to have it paid to have it fixed, you just became the maintenance department. And you just had to figure out how to fix the stuff that you didn't even know how to fix before. I know from experience, before I lived in an RV, I would not have understood somebody telling me this because I haven't lived it. And I probably wouldn't have listened because I was so determined that it was going to be aesthetic and it was going to be freedom and it was going to be all these things that it's not. Sorry to tell you, but that's just how it is. And the thing is, a lot of the thing is people see the aesthetic, but they don't see the work behind it because social media hides those facts. I'm not going to. You're going to know what's the secret behind it because I'm going to tell you. There's a myth about being free in an RV. There is some freedom, but it's not what everybody makes it out to be. I love living without a huge house to clean, and I love living with less. On rainy days, I love that cozy feeling that you get. I don't know, it's weird because I feel trapped most of the time, but like on a rainy day, that pitter patter on the roof and I don't know, it feels comforting because things are quiet. Does that make sense? I don't know. But with that freedom comes responsibility that people in houses don't have to think about the way that you, living in your RV full time, have to think about. Water, propane, electric, waste takes, air conditioning, heat, leaks, strange noises, things rattling. You have to pay attention to those things. And it's so funny how nothing ever breaks when you have the extra money. Just when you don't, it decides to just... Typically, it's when you're broke, it's a Sunday or a Saturday, or it's 100 degrees outside, or it's the middle of the night. And that's when your RV tells you who's boss. It's not you, by the way. It's the RV. And honestly, the thing that surprises me the most, the thing that caught me off guard, is the mental part, the mental exhaustion of it. Because you're constantly thinking, does that sound normal? Did I remember to shut that off? Then you're like, what's that smell? Is that the AC? Is it working right? Is that the refrigerator? Is it working? Is the black tank backed up? That's the worst. It's kind of like living in a house where you're waiting for the next thing to fall apart. And it will. And really, it's exhausting. And sometimes I don't realize how exhausting and how tired I am until I sit down and think, what can break next? How am I going to afford to fix it? Then I get really tired. And I ask myself, or ask the universe, can something just go right this week? Can something not break this week so that I just can have a break from the stress? Yes? No. And I just wonder, is that too much to ask? Because apparently it is. And another thing people don't understand about tiny spaces is they make everything bigger. One dirty dish makes the kitchen look messy. One basket of dirty clothes makes the whole house look like you haven't cleaned. And you have. And one pair of shoes in the wrong place, and you're tripping over everything. And trust me, I do it all the time. And I do it to myself, because I forget to move my shoes. I forget to put them where they belong. My own fault. And I swear I moved the same object 15 times in one day. I'll put it one place, and then I'll realize it's in the way to try and do something that I need to do, so I'll have to move it to somewhere else, and then when I move it to somewhere else, I have to use that spot, and I realize it's not in the right spot, so I put it somewhere else thinking it will stay there and be alright, and then it falls and breaks, and then you realize that there is no space for anything that you want to keep, literally. Not in mine anyway. Living tiny teaches patience, or maybe I just got more creative with ways to complain. Because I do complain a lot. I'm really not sure which. And something that cracks me up is people here that I live in my RV and they think I'm on a permanent vacation. No. Or I'm always somehow camping and not living life like everyday life, like it's normal. Like having to go get groceries and do laundry and things like that. They act like I don't ever do that. I have to do that too. Like somehow life stopped being normal. Like, you know, like I said, but I still have to do laundry. I still have to do my dishes. I still have to go grocery shopping. I still have to go to doctor's appointments and dentist appointments, and I have to buy clothes and food and shoes and do all the things that everybody else has to do. But when you tell people that you live in an RV, they think you don't do those things. Like, do I have a robot that comes in and do this stuff? Or do I just live on some miracle cloud where I don't ever have to eat, change my clothes or anything? Like, my address may be different, but I still have to fix things and I still have to live life. I think a lot of people really do imagine RV life is one big road trip, and for a lot of people that's true, but not for me. I'm stationary, so it's not the case for me. And for people that live it, it's just everyday life. It's just smaller spaces, more noise because people want to play their music really loud, and I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm sure you can. I'm sure it will come across. Now, after hearing me complain, you ask yourself, does she even like living RV life? The answer is yes and no. I do, because there are certain things that I absolutely love. Community is one of them. The community I have here, best community I've ever had in my life. RV people will help you as much as they can, and they'll show you as much love as they can, as long as you show them that back and the respect. Because, you know, if you're disrespectful and stuff, they're not gonna. Why would they? I've also learned that I don't need as much as I've thought I needed, and that because of this lifestyle, I've become a stronger person and more patient. And I've learned how to adapt and make do. And again, be patient, because I'm still learning how to be patient, because it's not always easy when you are trapped. Not necessarily trapped, but when you are living in a small space with somebody else. It's hard to be patient. And I'm learning how. And I also think it's okay to love something, but be able to admit how hard it is to do it and live this life. And I also am just trying to give people who are thinking about doing it perspective, because I didn't have that. Nobody was talking about what the bad parts of RV life were. They were just showing all the good. So that's why I'm also trying to do this, so you can see that there's not always good parts. There's sometimes bad parts. And somehow, at the end of the day, in spite of all the craziness, you just keep living because life isn't perfect. But it's mine. It's my RV, and honestly, most days that is enough. And if you're living in your RV too, you get it. And you can leave me a comment about what stresses you out the most and how much you either hate it or love it. And also, if you like this kind of content, you can hit the subscribe. You can smash that subscribe button, actually. Smash it. Hit the bell notifications. And, because I talk about this stuff all the time.